Welcome, welcome. I was just saying to get a blanket or something, or a towel to use as a bolster, and a tie or a thin towel to use as a strap. Come here.
By the way, I've pulled my neck.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So I don't know how much I can do, but I guess yoga will be good.
Yeah, well, today's pretty restorative, so we're going to spend a lot of time on the ground. Okay. We'll just wait for Kev. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. And tomorrow is a full moon. So just notice how you're feeling. I'm not feeling too great, to be honest. And yeah, they talk about like the full moon is a lot. It's basically a time for celebration for all the things that you've achieved in the past half month. Excuse me, as the moon was growing, and a time to set intentions to let go and shed, because from Tuesday the moon will start to shrink again. And that if it's not feeling, sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming, and that's okay. It just means you need a bit of alone time. So just notice how you're feeling, and if you feel like it, you could even start today or during class, just thinking about if there's anything that's been coming up for you in the past couple of days that maybe you want to try and let go of. And writing things down always helps. Saying them out loud helps even more. So yeah, just think about that perhaps during today's class, where letting go, shedding, which is great timing because we're in autumn. So each of the autumn full moons, I think, can be quite powerful because they're kind of doubled up with this bit larger cycle of nature asking us to let go. I just don't have my glasses on. Yeah, so it gets back. Okay. Well, when you guys are ready, I hope you got your props, and just obviously you're at home. Like if you need a pause, like, well, you can't pause me, but just hop up and get something. You just do that. When you're ready, excuse me, opening up the playlist, and we'll press play in 3, 2, 1, go. And just make sure it's off shuffle. We're going to start by sitting on whatever prop you've got, like the blanket, or maybe it's even a block burnie or whatever it is, just to open up your hips a little bit more. But if you don't feel like you want to sit like this, perhaps you want to sit how I did last week, blanket or bolster between the legs, knees facing down. You just see what you need. And shuffle around a little bit until you find a nice central point. So just gently rocking back side to side on your sitting bones until it gets quite heavy and you're finding that center point. So hands in a mudra if you'd like. My favorite, again, index finger to thumb. If you're feeling like you're looking for some grounding, palms face down. If you've been a little heavy, palms facing up. And I know you guys probably have things going on around you. Excuse me. So just take your time, don't rush trying to settle in. And when you found that spot where your body is comfortable, quite still, one straight line from the base of your spine to the crown of head, perhaps tucking the chin in a little. Excuse me. And maybe with each exhale, closing the eyes over. Inviting in a noticing. Just noticing where the breath is sitting for you today. Noticing if the mind is wandering. Filling your lungs with each breath. Taking a few deep breaths here. Inhale with the nose, exhale with the mouth open. Sending the breath a little lower each time. So a little further down the abdomen. Perhaps reaching all the way down to the groin. And just noticing where it's a little more challenging for you to feel your breath, where in the body it gets a little stuck. And if you ever want to talk about that more in detail, let me know. But for now, just a noticing. Returning to your normal breath. And letting the rest of your world fall away with each exhale. You ground yourself a little more into your body on your mat. Knowing you've given yourself this time this morning just to be here. Everything else will still be there. A little gift of being rather than doing. And exhaling out anything that's coming up feels like stopping you from being present in. Notice those thoughts and just breathe them away. Moment, bringing your hands to heart center, nice and gently, and setting yourself an intention for today's class, or perhaps for the rest of the week. and letting it fill you up. And bowing your head to your heart space, chin comes towards the chest. And you know where we're going. Leave the head bowed, release the hands back to the knees. And just finding some small neck stretches, Kev. You just follow as much as you'd like to. Perhaps it's a soft, gentle lean into the pool. And we'll just start moving our chin from side to side. Noticing it feels different from last week. If there's anywhere you're being asked to just sit still. And again, the element here is space. The color blue. Helping us speak and hear more clearly. When you're ready, returning back to center. Just a few shoulder rolls. Excuse me. Waking up the body this morning. Bringing your right hand to perhaps the base of your spine, or maybe it reaches down onto the ground, the blanket. We're going to find a twist here. So left arm comes to outer edge of right leg. Maybe there's something behind you to use to help the twist. And back to center, and again, the other side. Love a good twist in the morning. Arms come up. And gently reaching back. Really stretching out. And exhale, arms come out wide back to center, finding that nice straight spine. We're doing a little bit of pranayama this morning, so a little bit of breath work. And this one I think you've all done before, Nadi Shodhana, the balancing breath, just to help us find a little bit more balance in our lives. So we'll use our right hand, keeping the left hand on the knee or the leg, finding our index finger and middle finger together and thumb on the outside with this L shape. Bringing index finger and middle finger to your forehead, your temple, your third eye. The thumb gently resting on the right nostril. And the ring finger gently resting on the left nostril. And so we're going to think of this as a square. So as we inhale, so closing over the right nostril with your thumb, inhaling through the left nostril for 3, 2, 1. Perhaps holding the breath here, closing the left nostril, opening the right, exhaling through the right for 3, 2, 1. And holding at an empty breath. Then inhaling through the right nostril, 3, 2, 1. Holding here, closing over the right, opening the left, exhaling through the left. holding at the empty breath. And continuing this pattern, inhale through the left, exhale through the right, inhale through the right, exhale through the left. So you guys continue this pattern. And as you're inhaling, imagining the breath coming all the way up into the temple, where the index finger and middle finger sit. And as you exhale, emptying completely. They say that samadhi, bliss, enlightenment, sits at the top and the bottom of the breath. When the beginning becomes the end and the end becomes the beginning, where the cycle ends and starts again. And so noticing for you perhaps which nostril feels clearer. And if you feel any kind of discomfort at holding the inhale or the exhale, we're in no rush. If the arm starts to get a little sore, option to use your left arm to support. And so our left nostril is attached to our right side of our brain. It is the yang side, the doing, the masculine. And our right nostril connected to the left side of the brain. Our yin, our feminine, our being. And throughout each day, we will predominantly breathe through one nostril for 90 minutes and then it will swap over. And so here what we're doing is encouraging it to breathe equally through both nostrils, so that we can utilize the left and right side of our brain equally. Hence the balancing breath, balancing the left and right sides, our yin and our yang. Just 2 more rounds, you guys. Noticing if the holds feel uncomfortable, just let them go. Just noticing the movement of the breath in the nostril, up into the forehead, out the nostril, completely empty. And we finish on an exhale through the left nostril. When you're ready, keeping the eyes closed, bring that right hand back down to your leg and breathing in all the way through both nostrils and back out. Just noticing perhaps how the body feels, maybe how the nostrils feel. And finding that gentle shoulder roll again. Great work, you guys. We're going to come off our blanket, coming into all fours. And I think you know where we're going, finding that gentle cat and cow. Noticing what your body needs today. Bringing both toes together at the back of the mat. Option here, knees together or knees out wide. Finding child's pose just for a moment. Really encouraging your hips down onto your heels. Walking the hands a little further in front. Walking the left hand over to the left side of the mat, walking that right hand over to the left hand. And so we're breathing into our right rib here, finding a bit of a side stretch. One more breath here. And when you're ready, walking that right hand over to the right side of the mat, and left hand comes to sit on top of it, opening up the left ribs. Just a few more breaths here. Beautiful, coming back up to your tabletop when you're ready. We're actually going to walk the hands a little bit in front and bring that right leg to the outer edge of your right arm. So we're in our lizard lunge. Been really feeling my lizard lunge recently, so apologies if it's a bit repetitive. So again, that right leg on the outer edge, so your knee is next to your shoulder. And here, options. Perhaps tucking the back leg, lifting the back leg, and just finding some small circles to notice where you really want to drop that back leg and hold it. Perhaps the chest is nice and straight, opening up really into that right hamstring, or perhaps forearms come down. Just noticing what you need today. When you're ready, shifting the weight into that left arm, and we'll gently press open that right leg, right knee. And so your foot will come to the edge of your right foot. And just play around. Perhaps you need to lift up out of your arm and your hip, turn the body, and really press open that right leg. So try and release any tension in the right leg. Let your arm give it a little bit of pressure. So here we're opening up that right hip. A few more breaths here. Option, gently bend that back leg and perhaps reaching behind to grab it. And so you notice we're not up here on our knee. we're dropping forward onto our left thigh and using the twist in our body to be able to reach that hand, that leg, that foot. If you can't reach it and you'd like to, you can grab your strap and pop it around. It's not easy. And then you're using that to bring it a little closer. But just feel like there's no, if this is not where you're at right now, and this is not what you want, just let it go. If you want to just stay in your lizard lunge, stay in your lizard lunge. This is your practice. Walking that right foot over to the left when you're ready. We're going to find our half pigeon. And now really again, what's really important in this pose is getting that right angle in the front leg. So our shin is parallel to the top of the mat. It's not dropping in, otherwise we're putting too much pressure on the knee. And perhaps we start to fold forward, but perhaps not. Not for me today. Coming back to your breath. We won't be here too much longer. Beautiful. On the next exhale, pressing up, sending that leg back to meet your left leg. And we'll bring, I'm going to turn around, bring the left leg up to find our lizard lunge on the other side. It always feels a little weird after doing a lot on one side to then, I guess, just feel the difference between each side. That's what I'm trying to say. And again, finding what variation works for you this morning. Whereabouts in your hip do you need the stretch today? Or is there a spot that you wanted to look at and work on to open up? And just inviting in that little bit of discomfort that comes from the stretch. Just sitting with it, not pushing it away. Don't fear it. When you're ready, starting to shift the weight into the right arm, twisting open the body, opening up that left leg. Come back to your breath. Noticing where the mind wanders in discomfort. Can you find some ease with it? And perhaps finding the variation, lifting that back leg. And going around to grab it. You got this, guys. Be kind to yourself. And exhale, releasing that leg. Beautiful. Send that left leg back to meet the right. Oh no, I missed our pigeon. Take that back up. Come back to our pigeon. Again, working to find that nice right angle. And perhaps folding over. If we were in a class, we have blocks either side of us and we've got our hands on the blocks, but find your breath. Not too much longer here. Two more breaths. Come back here, be on your mat. Notice where the mind wanders off to, the to-do list, the planning. Gently walking your hands up and send that leg back. The hands come a little bit in front of your shoulders. Tuck the toes, lifting the hips or down dog, yes. And paddling out the feet. Opening up the backs of the leg. Suctioning up the tummy so it's going towards the sky. And sending those heels down towards the mat. Coming up onto the tippy toes for a moment. And back down. One more, up onto the tippy toes. And back down, looking to the hands, bend the knees, we'll step up. Forward fold. Option here, bend the knees heaps. Hands come to the mat. Bellies on the thighs. And perhaps you start to straighten a little bit with your hands on the mat still. Crown of head down towards the ground. Let it all hang out. Taking a ragdoll perhaps, grabbing opposite elbow. Gently rocking side to side. Noticing if anything is holding on. Mine's always the base of the head, the top of the neck, really shaking it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Find that nice straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. And we'll lift all the way up at your next inhale, nice and slow. Stacking each bit of your spine on top of the next. There's definitely where the vertebra. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Beautiful. Setting up your Tadasana. You guys know the cues. Activating the legs. Navel into spine. Shoulder blades down the back, opening up the chest. Crown of head shining towards the ceiling. When you've got your Tadasana, inhale, arms come up. Keep them up there. We're going to reach a little bit back. Opening up our chest. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands. We're going to step back to our high plank. Option to hold here if you're feeling a little strong. Or drop the knees. I'm dropping your knees today. but keep that tummy in, shift the weight forward, lower down, chaturanga. Beautiful. When you're ready, lifting up cobra, or option, pressing all the way up into up dog. And exhale, down dog. Now, Kev, if this is too much for you, just go into all fours. Both feet come together at the back of the mat. Right leg to the sky. And exhale back to center. Send the left leg to the sky. And back down. Bend the knees, look to the hands. Step up with the opposite foot. All the way up. We're doing one more sane. And go with your own flow, you guys, if you're really comfortable with this. Just moving at your own pace. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Moving with intention. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Knowing where your next movement will be. There's no guesswork. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend the knees, plant the hands, we'll step back. High plank. Shifting the weight. Chaturanga. Untuck the toes, cobra. Up dog. Down dog. Great work, you guys. Coming up onto the tippy toes and back down. Up again. And back down. Really encouraging the heels down towards the ground and then up to the sky. Beautiful. Looking to the hands. Actually drop the knees down. Untuck the toes. Actually keep the toes tucked and we'll walk the hands forward. Dropping the chest towards the ground. Working to keep our hips above our knees. And perhaps the forehead reaches the ground. Eventually the chest and the chin. Anahata. Opening up the heart space. This is really shoulder flexibility here. Beautiful. And gently shifting the weight forward into your forearms, sending the legs back, finding Sphinx pose. Good work, you guys. Now careful we're not dropping down into our shoulders. Press into the mat with our forearms, opening up the chest. Tummy comes into your tailbone, protecting that lower back, keeping it engaged. And when you're ready, we're actually going to find a pillow for our head. So both hands come together. And just dropping down to the floor for a moment. Noticing the breath in your belly, in your chest as you rise and fall against the mat. Yoga is the union between the body and the mind. When you're ready, we'll lift the head and we'll bring that left arm. How am I describing this? Elbow is in line with the shoulder. We have a nice L shape in our arm. With our other side, I'm just going to do it on the other side to show you guys. We're going to tent our fingers. So we've got the L shape in the left arm. We're tenting our fingers on the right. And we'll start to drop that left, so the right leg over the left. And we'll have the side of the left side of our face on the mat. I think that's right. So what we're doing is a chest stretch for the left chest. Breathing into the left pec. Two more breaths here. Beautiful, rolling over. We'll swap sides. So bringing that right arm into that L shape. The left hands will tent fingers next to, in line with your left shoulder, and gently dropping over. So the left leg comes over the right. Again, breathing into that right pec. Two more breaths here. Really melting into the mat. And exhale back to center. Great work. Ow. Ow. Okay. Back to center. And we're going to roll all the way over onto our back when Aslan lets me. Thank you. And we're going to grab your blankie, bolster, towel, whatever it is. Place it underneath where the base of your, what am I trying to say? Base of your hips are. So your sacrum. And we're going to send our legs to the sky. So with that little bit of extra lift. And take your time to adjust, to find what feels right for you. Excuse me, maybe it's even going to a wall, if that's better for you, going to a wall. But really what happens is you'll find this like center point where your legs are just kind of hanging in space. Finding a slight bend if you need, perhaps one arm comes to chest, one arm comes to belly. Maybe you prefer them out today. whatever you like. Close the eyes over if you can. And so what's happening here is all of the blood in our legs is rushing down to our vital organs, giving them a chance to work a little less. This is a really great pose if you're ever feeling anything really, just to bring you back to center. Legs up a wall if you need. So there should be no pressure in the legs. You may start to feel a tingling sensation. If that happens, feel free to drop your legs gently. When you're ready, just starting to bend the knees, perhaps towards the chest, and then dropping them down to the ground. And now we're in supported bridge. Sending our hips a little bit towards the sky. Now, if it's crushing your lower back, make sure to move back a little bit so the bolster or blanket support is lower on your back. Great work, you guys. Now, we're going to move into our supine twist, which I love, but option to keep your prop underneath your hips if you'd like a bit of extra support. If not, removing the towel and the block. When you're ready, shifting the hips over to the left, bring both knees up so your shins are parallel to the ground. Arms come out wide like a T, and we'll drop them over to the right side, gazing over your left. I invite you to notice perhaps where discomfort came into play for you today. Perhaps there was an expectation of what class looked like and we're not meeting that. Back to center when you're ready, swapping sides. So the hips move over to the right. Lifting up the legs, dropping over to the left. Remembering our harshest critic is usually ourselves. And inviting in some gratitude and love for our body and what it can do. Moving back to center when you're ready. Feet come down onto the mat. And this time we will remove the prop if you haven't already. And bringing your knees up to your chest. Finding some small circles. And when you're ready, we're going to go into happy baby. So the arms come to the inside of the legs, but the hands reach the outer edges of the feet. And just start to send them up towards the sky. See what works for you today. Perhaps you want that really open view. Maybe you want the feet a little closer together. Noticing what you need today. And we're going to grab our strap, release the feet when you're ready. Grab our strap, or our tie, or our towel, whatever it is. Both feet come together on the mat. And we're going to bring the left leg in, wrap that tie or towel or strap around the ball of your foot, and send that left leg up to the sky. Perhaps it's grabbing the prop with your left hand, right hand comes down. Perhaps your right leg extends all the way to the ground. And working as much as we can for that left leg to really plug into that left hip. So we've got these beautiful straight lines. So opening up the hamstring, opening up the calf. And perhaps you actually start to drop that left leg out a little bit towards the ground. Maybe reach all the way to the ground. Mine's sitting on a cupboard now. And back to center when you're ready. We'll swap the hands over and gently encourage it over towards the right side. So again, perhaps you almost reach the ground. And back to center. Great work, you guys. Bending that leg. Release the prop and we'll swap sides. So keep that left leg bent for the moment. Right leg comes up. Bringing the strap over the balls of the right foot. Sending it straight up. Perhaps dropping that left leg down. Working to really plug that leg into your hip. And maybe starting to drop that right leg out to the right. Just noticing where you get to without the left hip lifting off the ground. Gently coming back up, swapping your hands and sending that right leg over the left side. Prepping for Shavasana now. Just really giving yourself a bit of love. Love, 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 love. Send that love to yourself. For getting on the mat. For spending some time just with you and your body. Back to center. Gently drop that leg down. Beautiful. Remove the prop. And find whatever last movement you need. I'm going to find a little egg hug before we move into Shavasana. Perhaps you have a towel or something you want to put over your eyes. And extending the legs to either side of your mat. Tucking those shoulder blades under your chest. Palms face up either side of you. And I'll take you through a yoga nidra. So following my voice. Gently relaxing all the muscles in your body. Melting into the lower, into the mat zone. And closing the eyes over. Noticing the quality of your breath. Whereabouts is it sitting today? Taking your breath all the way down to your right big toe. To your right toes. To the base of your right foot. To your right ankle. Taking your breath all the way to your right calf. To your right shin. Taking your breath to your right knee. With each exhale, letting those muscles melt away. Taking your breath to your right hamstring. To your right thigh. Moving your breath up to your right glute. to your right lower back. And around to your right hip. Taking your breath all the way down to your left big toe. To your left toes. To the base of your left foot. To your entire left foot. Taking your breath to your left ankle. Moving the breath up to your left calf. Your left shin. Taking your breath to your left knee. Taking your breath to your left hamstring. And around to your left thigh. And taking your breath to your left glute. And around to your left hip. Taking your breath to the entire lower half of your body. Your entire right leg. Your entire left leg. And imagining the breath as a line that's slowly moving from your hips and filling your tummy, your fingertips, your hands, your wrists, moving up the body to your forearms, your upper belly, your elbows, and your chest, your upper arms, your upper back, up to the shoulders, And you're just resting the breath on the base of the neck and breathing in your entire body up to the neck, letting it melt into the mat. And taking your breath to your neck, up to your chin, to your jaw, your cheeks, your nose, your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead, your ears, all the way around the back of your head until just the crown of your head is waiting. Taking your breath all the way to the crown of head and feeling your entire body. Nothing outside right now exists. You hold the universe inside you, for you are the universe. You are love. You are divinity in disguise. So lie still and feel that. Just be. And when you're ready, starting to deepen the breath. Gently finding some movement in your fingers or your toes. Perhaps finding the stretch overhead as you roll onto your side. And with your eyes closed, making your way to a comfortable seat. Taking a few breaths here. Just sitting with anything that came up for you. Noticing how you feel. And take a moment to revisit your intention from the beginning of class. Bringing the hands to heart center. Sending yourself lots of love for getting on the mat today. I thank you for sharing your practice with me and with each other. The divine light in me sees and loves the divine light in each of you. Namaste.